श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री परम गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री परमेष्टि गुरुभ्यो नमः. We are trying to understand this Shiva Sankalpa Sukta, particularly with reference to the mind, the auspicious thoughts, the expansion of the mind. There are two aspects here. The auspicious thoughts is one part. Other one is the expansion of mind as we understand now. Its expansion is much larger than space. Space itself is infinite. Space has no adi and antya. Ananta it is. What is beyond infinite? No. So, what is said here is mind is that subtler than space and expansive than space. How do we understand this? One is how understand this and how to make it expansive. Unless we understand anything, we can't use it or adopt it or apply it the way it's required to be adopted or applied. I was thinking of what example I can give you about the expansiveness of this mind. Then I thought about our mobile phones. We were using that, the old telephones. Maximum in that was make a call, send message. That was confined to that. And we are used to that much. The telephone is for sending message and receiving call. And when we got the smartphone with so many possibilities to use it, and that too when it comes to the latest versions of the smartphone, even today I find, and all of you find, most of us, we are using it making call, message, and one extra thing is maybe WhatsApp message. If you go still further, they may log into Facebook and still YouTube. That stops there. But its application is enormous. There are so many things. Thousands of applications available on the application store. Whether it's Play Store or it is Apple Store. It is left to one person who is a smartphone to expand its application through his imagination. This could be the better example, I thought, most appropriate, where we can clearly understand. So also with us, our mind. We are limited to using it to some extent, that's all. We have not thought of, at least we should know it can expand. Even most of us are not aware of that. People who got the most latest smartphone, they should be told, this has so many things you should use. Let me try to use it. Then one by one they will be going exploring and they try to expand, use it also. Why I am telling this? By listening to the meaning of Shiva Sankalpa, That is not expected. Something tomorrow we'll do it. We'll make the mind expansive because this man has told and also explained that it's like a smartphone. You can explore it the way you want. No, it's a practice. It's a practice. It requires a lot of time. And we know that even management schools teaches this. To learn something new, we need to unlearn what already learned. Same thing happens here. To make it expansive, the first thing we should do is we should know it is only attached, confined to the only this sense organs, and beyond that it's not going. So withdraw it from the sense organs at the beginning of it. You ask me when you can do it, how to do it. It's a practice. Keep some time for it. Whatever the practice we do, whether it's a meditation, whether it is a mantra yoga or a pranayama, whatever it is, the purpose of all these sadhanas, I don't say this is better, that is not better. Everything. The ultimate is for two things. To know self, isn't it? To know that self, the mind has to expand. Mind has to withdraw itself from the sense organs. And mind should start listening to buddhi than influenced by the impressions in chitta. I think this all of you have understood very clearly because I am confident that I have conveyed properly to the best of my ability. Now we continue the last few verses. We learned that it's a yajna is required. Yajna is, there are two parts in the yajna. I'm talking about the physical yajna. There should be an altar. Fire should be kindled there and make the fire really flame up, flare up, flame up, whatever you want. Then offer the harisu in it. So the first stage is igniting that, the fire in Manipur, and see that the flame is increased day by day. So it's the first step. Then we see what to offer there. Let the fire flame now. So as a first step, the deep breathe. So this deep breath is the vayu that makes the Agni to flare up. It's possible. I tell you, I forgot other day. When we do the Gnana Mudra like this, and if you make this way, it becomes Chin Mudra. In both Chin Mudra and Gnana Mudra, we will see that the index finger touches the thumb. Most of us may be aware the index finger is the Vayu Tattva and the thumb is Agni. What happens if Vayu and Agni joins? The fire kindles. What fire? The fire of Gnana. Despite Gnana Mudra. The Gnana Mudra is used during while Dhyana and Mantra Yoga to supplement that our activity of making the fire. That's why it's made. It's not simply. So we shall see now what next then. I would like to once again recite that shloka, the fourth one, because every shloka is verse is it's really calming. It gives a lot of energy, lot of vibe. What a vibe it gives. Not only that, talks about the auspicious thoughts and expansion of mind. Even the sound it generates itself is really vibrates. Enedam bhutam bhuvanam bhavishat parigruhitam amrutena sarvam ena yagnastrayate saptahota tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. Please find a word here. Sapta hota. Yena yagnastrayate sapta hota. Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. The worship of 7 deities along with the yagna in Agni. It is done. The ability of expanding the mind develops naturally. What is this? Sapta. The similar sapta comes in Krishna's. Trisapta samidhakritaha. Trisapta. 7 into 3 there. Thrice. Even that also refers to this. Sapta hota. Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. This Sapta hota yajna is offering to the 7 psychic centers. There are 7 deities within us. And these deities bless us with wisdom, progress, prosperity, success. And let us not bother which chakra represents whom, which deity. See, let us not struck. We are struck in 2-3 places for us to move forward. One is struck with name and form of deities, and struck with identification of a deity in each chakra. The name, once again, form. Don't worry. Whatever the name you call it, don't call it name, it's an energy. It's an energy. The name and form also is the same thing. As this is the things which makes us struck. We want to identify Muladhara only with Ganapati. If I tell some other name tomorrow, difficult. Difficult to understand, difficult to follow. Let us not bother. It's an energy. Whatever the name you call it. Ganapati, you call Brahma, no problem, because it's the beginning. It is not, doesn't matter what name you call it. We are busy in finding the name for that than using that energy. Is it not so? I'm talking about ice cream, such a cold season with my condition. I'm given a wonderful ice cream bar. Should I think of enjoying it, eating, or should I think, what is this made of? What is this called? This is called Choco Burger. No, I found the same thing. They call something else. We are busy in that. Very busy in this. You have in your hand wonderful, just enjoy it. Enjoy the taste. Feel that instead of finding out how it is made on one side. That's okay, even that's also okay. Even if you think how it's made, okay. Some knowledge gives to us. We don't think of that. Other day in other ice cream shop, they have given me same thing, but they call it a different name. What I should do? This is something most dangerous. Even if you think after understanding how it's made, what is this basic element? What is the process? Good. It's only knowledge it adds to us. But we don't think that. This is given same thing in other store. They got same taste also, I'm telling you, listen to me. No change at all, my dear. But they call some other name. What's the problem for you? Most of us are stuck here. This is one place of Granthi we are stuck. Not. Other Granthis, other not. We are stuck. Is the past life. Any number of times I go on telling, there is neither the past life or the future life. It is only the impressions that are going to take birth. Are we ready to accept it? When we say past karmas, what of the karmas? We talk about, I was born somewhere, I was something doing, I did this, that has come to me. We are stuck there. It is not true. Though I go on telling it repeatedly, like by hearting it also, it doesn't go to our mind so easily because we are stuck. We have been told that regularly since our childhood, and also our scriptures also speak about that because they cannot go on explaining in detail to the common man about how the thoughts are getting birth. It's not possible to understand. They also repeat it. So it further adds to us. If you can break these things, we find the easy way to expand our mind. Let us not bother about what name. Now we call it Saptahota. 7. Let us only understand this matter. Mooladhara is earth element. It has got the energy of the earth. That's all. Whatever the name you call. And Swadhisthana, water element. Manipura is Agni element. Anahata is Vayu. Vishuddha is space. Akasha. Agna is, I just extend it. Agna is Manas Chakra, it is called. But if you properly understand it, it is an intuitive consciousness, third eye. It is not just consciousness, it is an intuitive consciousness. The seventh equals Sahasrara. It's a pure consciousness. Even Sankalpa is there. The Sankalpa is pure consciousness. When I talk about, I'm just shifting my world. Auspicious thoughts to the consciousness. Tanme manaha Shiva Sankalpa Sukta. Sankalpa is just thoughts. I replace that thoughts into the consciousness. Replace Shiva auspicious into pure. Shiva is pure also. Just changing it. I'm replacing Shiva with pure. Sankalpa from thoughts to the consciousness. So, Shiva Sankalpa Sukta is the pure consciousness. When we go subtle, if you ask me, is it not auspicious thoughts? Yes, at one level. But when you do Agni Yagna and go further into Sapta Hota, this Shiva Sankalpa becomes pure consciousness. Okay. How do we do this Sapta Hota Yagna? It's not difficult, sir. We have already learned to do that pranayama, where the Agni element is really clear. Later, there are different ways. Need not be you start from Muladhara. This is done once after the, once you see, you cannot offer any Havisu unless you make the Agni to really becomes flames, very powerful flame. Then only can offer the Havisu. So the first we should make that flame. Then depends on our Guru's directions. It's once again only the breath, nothing else. It is the breath and the mantra, our attentiveness to that mantra and the breath. Yes, sadhaka slowly become master over the breath and is able to apply that inner pranic pressure. Prana is, the vital energy. He applies the inner pranic pressure to each chakras. With that pressure, the knots open. We chant Lalita Sahasranama, Brahma Granthi Vibhodini, Vishnu Granthi Vibhodini, and Rudra Granthi. Each time a Granthi is, the knot is opened, the mind gets expansion to the next level. Mooladhara Ikanilaya, Brahma Granthi Vibhodini, Manipura Vishnu Granthi. This is what, for the Chandas sake, this is like this. This is what we also chant. We chant like this. Mooladharaika Nilaya Brahma Granthi Vidhedini Manipurantarbhita Vishnu Granthi Vidhedini Agna Chakrantaravastha Bhadra Granthi Vidhedini. So how we read? This is what even the Vashinyadi Vagdevata wanted us to read. It is not that. I will read it for you. It should be read that only to understand Manipurantarudita Brahma Granthi Vidhedini Manipurantarudita. That's correct. So, among Sapta Hota, the divinity which is in Mooladhara break open that Brahma Granthi and appears in Manipura. That's the meaning of it. The earth element, which is an energy in Mooladhara, that's it. First, Mooladharaika Nilaya, right? When sadhaka does certain pranic exercises, whatever that is in Mooladhareka, you can make out the word, Nilaya, it is dwells there. Which is dwelling there, that earth element, that energy, Brahma Granthi Vibhedini. It breaks up the Brahma Granthi and appears in Manipura. Hope you understand that? Manipurantarudita. Mooladharaika Nilaya Brahma Granthi Vibhedini Manipura. From there it breaks Vishnu Granthi and appears in Agna Chakra. So, by opening these knots, the process of this Sapta Hota worship has to be learned from a very competent guru. Otherwise, it's difficult to practice. And I want to refer here the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 11th.
Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantah shreyah paramavapsyatha.
Wonderful. Krishna is telling, by your sacrifices, what sacrifices? Yagna, offerings. To whom? The celestial deities. Where are the celestial deities? What is the deities? They are the energy. Different type of energy. That's very much within us. Because when we say it is the micro of that macro, whatever in that macro is in this micro. As I mentioned yesterday, whatever this such a huge body does, a cell, a smallest cell also does the same thing. But what this body does is known, can be seen, but we will not be able to see that what the smallest cell in the body does. But if the smallest cell in the body doesn't do it, this whole body will not live. So, celestial deities, when he uses here, it is there very much within us. When we talk about celestial deities, is it not we're talking about space? In our own understanding. Are you pleased? And with such mutual nurturing between the common human and the divinity, prosperity will reign for all. Shreyaha parama vapsyata. It is the same thing, what I am talking about. So, the Bhagavad Gita has different dimensions. Depends on one's perception. The Bhagavad Gita here, particularly this verse, I'm trying to put into the expansion of the mind itself and also sacrifice to the Saptahota. We should understand that there are a lot of different types of energy in the universe and also in us. There are bad energy and good energy. So that's what we have seen in whenever we see Lalitopakhyanam or Devi Saptashati, Durga Saptashati. What we are trying to understand, there are also the energies which are not positive, they are negative, but they are also there. They are all energies. All these energies are controlled by that universal consciousness energy. From there, all these energies are managed. It is like a good example could be, that is a station. It produces, it's a center where the energy of electricity is produced. Then it is distributed to different places. From there, whatever the energy is given, connected. Similarly, the origin of this energy or the universal conscious energy is that supreme. In whatever the name you call it, that supreme is Atman. That supreme is self within us. That supreme consciousness and energy, universal consciousness, has different energies also emerged from those. Those are the energies we have to find in these 7 chakras. That's all. The same, the supreme deity, the universal consciousness, has made different types of energies and they have been given different portfolios. They'll all be used to make the human being's life better. There is a question by one of my, I should say, known person. You tell that so and so mantra is supreme, which connects to the universal consciousness energy who controls everything, which is everything, nothing else beyond that. Then what is the need for worshipping or practicing other mantras? Then what is the need when you are doing Shrichakra Puja, Shrichakra Navavarana Puja? You invoke everything there, universal consciousness energy is there and you identify with yourself. And why you talk about Amnaya mantra and all, Amnaya Devatas and all? When you are reaching that, the answer is one should approach the particular energy for a particular requirement. Otherwise, what happens is, a good example, my laptop needs a power, no doubt. But can I connect it to 230 watts? I have to find something which is supplies only what is needed. But origin from there only. It originates from there, but I am using what is required here. Same thing. So let's not be carried away. But I have got this mantra, it is supreme. And is it necessary for me to do Amnaya mantras and all? Why all these Amnaya mantras? Why all these deities? Those deities are for a specific purpose. Use that specific purpose. Because I am in charge of I know how to produce electricity for the whole state. So let me go and put my laptop there for charging. What happens? So you should invoke different energies for a different purpose. That's it. When it comes to the ultimate Jivan Mukti and realizing self, no other way except to approach that. It is nothing but self. And this worship of these 7 deities in our 7 psychic chakras is an extension of the process of what we have done in Agni Yajna. And we have done it. Now I tell you, don't get into practice of this Saptahota. Please see that you are into Agni Yajna now if you want to practice. Be at Agni Yajna. The extension of that is Saptahota. Don't jump into that please. So let us, the purification process of mind starts from Agni Yajna. And then slowly you should move to Saptahota. Let us not simply jump into that and get ourselves in trouble. And when we get into Saptahota Yajna, it is much deeper and circular. Ala Mata Sukshma. Because the vasanas are impressions, intensifies when you start doing this Saptahota Yajna. When that vasanas intensifies, demons are released. That's why I'm cautioning you, don't do it. The demons are released. If you want to know the esoteric meaning or a secret meaning of Sagara Mathana is saying, it is Saptahota Yajna by all of us. In us, we have demon and divinity both. The churning starts. The churning process. Initially, the demon surface very strongly. That's why the poison comes out first. Once the poison comes out, the sadhaka gets shaken very much. I tell you, I must share my experience with this. The shaking so intense, one cannot explain. Very difficult. Very difficult. It's time one should be firm and faith, trust on his Guru. That's it. Remaining it will take. At that time, in Sagara Matana, Shiva has come. But here, Shiva within us to consume it. Yes, one should consume that, no other way. Few cups of poison required to be consumed. before the nectar of immortality, the nectar of the self is realized before the mind get expanded. You know what these 7 are? Demons. You know 6. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada. One more is there. That is greed, Durasa. Lobha is not greed. Lobha is unable. It will not be spending money. He is stingy. They need to be processed because they emerge with all power. So they should be released slowly. You can't simply ask them to go. They are demons. They can't go simply. You manage them. And here they are. They are in the innermost sanctuary of the heart. Daharakasha. See, look, in Daharakasha only the self is there. So also these. Both are connected to Chitta. So we need to see that they are processed and cleansed, released. Finally, before concluding this verse, even this verse also, in very clear words and explicitly make us understand the importance of the inner yagna, which is Agni yagna and fire, and meditation on 7 chakras. With this, a purification that need to be carried out in a daily meditation to develop the power of the mind. Many fold. It expands. This is required to attain whatever. Success in our material life as well as the liberation. Before concluding, Tanme Mana Shiva Sankalpa Sukta. What is said in this verse about Agni Yagna and Sapta Hota, called inner Yagna or Antar Yagna? Fortunately, a Shiva Pasaka has little higher than this Antar Yagna to practice. Yes. Yes. Even Shishakra Navarana Puja, we start from Bahiri Yaga. And there is Antar Yaga also. But it stops there. That's what Antar Yaga we're talking about today. The inner sacrifice. 5 and 7 chakras. And there is one above. One above Antar Yaga. That's Bhavana. It's the most secretive form of yagna. Needs a very deep practice. Very deep practice. And very powerful. Beyond this. Tanme Mana Shiva Sankalpa Sukta. May my mind worship all these 7 divinities in 7 chakras, along with Agni Yagna. May my mind dwell on the auspicious thoughts of ever increasing avoidance to self. By that, the self attain supremacy in aspects. Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpa Sukta. So once again, recite this before closing. Enedam bhutam bhuvanam bhavishyat parigriheta mamrutena sarvam. Ena yajnastrayate saptahota tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu.